going on, you guys? This is Dimension Scott back at you once again with a brand new ranking video, and today we're going to be ranking my Superman ranking from that started with Christopher Reeves from Superman 2, The Quest for Peace, Superman Returns, and Man of Steel. Before we get into today's video, if you're brand new to my channel and don't know what my videos are all about, I love talking about things I'm passionate about. Movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, video games, and also do Blu-ray hunting videos. If you're into all that type of stuff, you love physical media, like me, you come to the right place. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos if you like what you see. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram with the same name as usual, Dimension Scott. Okay, so with Superman Legacy in the works and development set for a 2025 release directed by James Gunn and all that, I figured I'd give you at least a ranking Superman movies that I will not include Batman v Superman or neither version of Justice League, because those movies are not solo Superman movies, period. And as for one movie, which is Superman 2, I'm only addressing the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 because that is in my opinion, the better, superior version that was more connected to Richard Donner's vision to the first Superman movie. So, shall we begin? At last place for me at number 6 is going to be Superman: The Quest for Peace. Now, I know this movie is arguably the worst movies and stuff ever created, worst Superman, worst comic book movie ever made. It's so bad because it's dated and the story doesn't make sense, yada yada yada. But as for me, I understand it's some problems, but not to be negative. The movie is entertaining. Christopher Reeves is still good at playing Superman. Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, and the John Williams score that they reused is still good in this movie. It's entertaining. It is the shortest movie of Christopher Reeve's final performance as Superman. I understand problems, but for me, I still find some entertainment value in this movie. So one of my friends on Instagram, he says he loves this movie, and I can see why. But The Quest for Peace, to me, is a fun final performance for Christopher Reeves as Superman. At number 5 is going to be Superman 3. When I watched this movie for the first time, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but upon rewatches, is it as good as its predecessor? No. This movie is a more Richard Pryor focused movie than Superman, because at the time, that comedic actor was one of the highest comedians or comedy actors at the time, so the movie was a lot more dedicated to Richard Pryor. While Superman is there, I think the best scene that saves this movie for me is the junkyard fight sequences between Clark Kent battling his inner demon, evil Superman, in the junkyard, and after he defeats evil Superman, he does the iconic shirt rip open and you hear the iconic theme song, and it is amazing. So Superman 3 is a okay continuation from Christopher Reeves' Superman 2. And I also really liked the actress who played Lana Lane. For those of you who don't know, Lana Lane is Clark Kent's high school love interest from Smallville High School. In fact, this actress got to play Martha Kent in the Smallville series, so that's really cool. And I think Christopher Reeves and the actress of Lana Lane do a nice job together. So overall, Superman 3 is the okay. Not the best one, maybe one of the weaker ones, maybe not as good, but it is what it is. The best part of this movie is Clark Kent versus evil Superman. Best part of this entire movie, and I will watch it for that. At number 4, Superman Returns. When I saw this was the first time. That movie came out in 2006. It was the first Superman I saw in theaters, back in the day with my uncle. It had the John Williams score. I had no idea it was originally supposed to be connected to Christopher Reeves. This movie supposed to fill in the shoes of Christopher Reeves. That's why it has the John Williams score. That's why they cast Brandon Routh to look more like Christopher Reeves. And Brandon Routh does play a pretty nice job as Superman, trying to fill in for Christopher Reeves. It doesn't have a lot of action. It tries to live in the same shadow like the Richard Donner movies. And I think they did a fine job with that. But Superman Returns was my first ever Superman film I got to experience in the theaters. And at that time as a kid, I actually think I had a really good time. Me and my uncle all enjoyed it together, even brought the video game. And I was waiting for a sequel, but nothing. There was never a sequel until Man of Steel. So looking back at it as an adult, I know it doesn't really have a whole bunch of action. Brandon Routh, I think, still did a decent job as Superman, and it has some feel to it, like from the Richard Donner movies. Superman saving that entire plane sequence, stopping bullets, and rescuing Lois Lane and her new love interest, because this movie takes place 5 years after Superman 2, where there was no Superman, and Clark Kent has to learn that the world has moved on without Superman, and that's a pretty okay story. At number 3 is going to be Superman the movie. Christopher Reeves, fantastic as Superman. Richard Donner took superhero movies in the right direction. The John Williams score is incredible. What's his name? Gina Hackman plays Lex Luthor. The relationship chemistry between Christopher Reeves, Margot Kidder is amazing. That flying sequences with Superman and Lois Lane is amazing. This is the grandfather of Superman, of not just Superman, but comic book movies in general. So Superman movie is really good. Number 2 is going to be Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut only, because I think the Richard Donner cut is a more superior connection to Superman the movie, which was also directed by Richard Donner. For those of you who don't know, they were meant to shoot both films under Richard Donner's direction back to back, but it was decided to focus on one movie instead, and things really fell apart between Richard Donner and the producers, and he ended up getting replaced by another director, Richard Lester. And it wasn't until years later, similar to Zack Snyder's Justice League, fans petitioned to see Richard Donner's original vision version of Superman 2. And I think the Richard Donner cut is a better connected, superior story between Superman, Christopher Reeves, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane and their relationship. General Zod and his goons are also really good. And the city battle between Superman and General Zod is fantastic, which I don't understand. You really compare that to Man of Steel, where Zod and Superman are fighting all over the city, and that movie gets criticized for that, while Superman 2, no matter which version you watch, they're fighting all over the city and they're causing damage. But why is Man of Steel getting criticized for fighting all over the city? It doesn't make any sense. But Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, is a solid sequel continuation to Superman the movie, and a more Richard Donner vision than the theatrical cut. But number 1 is Man of Steel. Thanks to Zack Snyder, thanks to his visual directing, thanks to Henry Cavill, thanks to all the actors and actresses telling a more grounded, realistic take on the Man of Steel. The Hans Zimmer score, the action, General Zod, everything about this movie is fantastic. And it will probably still remain as my favorite superhero origin movie of all time. Thank you to Zack Snyder. So there we have it, guys. What did you guys think of my Superman ranking? How would you rank the Superman films, whether you want to include Justice League or not? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos soon. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys later. Keep physical media alive. Peace out.